parent cell. So why does it happen? Let's talk about it more in the upcoming slides. Now, as an overview, our meiosis here, no? Meiosis. So I'm just admitting some students for a while. So meiosis, no? Similar with mitosis, meron din yang process ng DNA replication, sorry. So DNA replication, ibig sabihin, meron din pong part ng interface. After that DNA replication, we will now proceed to the upcoming or the future different phases. Ang isa pa sa difference ng meiosis kay mitosis, meiosis has two cellular divisions, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So if we're going to write it based on its sequence, magsisimula sa interface where the DNA replication happens, followed by meiosis 1. After meiosis 1, there will be a short rest for the cell, no, before it undergoes meiosis 2. Yung short rest na yon, interkinesis po yung tawag natin, preparing for the next meiosis to come. So interface, meiosis 1 followed by interkinesis, then meiosis 2. Another important thing to take note of when we're talking about meiosis is that we are going to talk about homologs already. Now, homologs, no? These homologs will be paired for each other kasi yung isang chromosome, this time around, galing na siya sa each parent. One chromosome or one homolog, ibig sabihin ng homolog, meron siyang kapartner na chromosome, no? So, one homolog is coming from the father, so paternal homolog. Yung second naman coming from the mother. So important in meiosis is the process of pairing kasi kailangan magka-partner yung homologs natin, one from the mother, one from the father. So basically just an overview, no? If it's still confusing as of now, don't worry, we'll talk about it step by step para yung overview maintindihan natin. So remember, I told you earlier, meiosis is subdivided into two cellular divisions. Meiosis 1 is responsible or is also called as the reductional division. May clue na tayo na yung genetic material pala dito naging haploid. So if we started with a single cell with a diploid number, pagdating sa dulo ng meiosis 1, you will end up having two daughter cells, but now reduced na po yung genetic material. Now in meiosis 1, no, meron din yung mga subphases, and the subphases, yung main name niya similar with mitosis. So meron ding prophase, metaphase, anaphase, tsaka telophase. Ang pinagkaiba lang, if they are under meiosis 1, dadagdagan din natin ng Roman numeral 1, no? For example, may prophase din sa meiosis 1. Ang tawag natin, prophase 1. Okay, so PMAT pa din po yan. PMAT, yung isa lang 1 kasi under meiosis 1, yung isa 2 kasi under meiosis 2. So, going back, meiosis 1, reductional, nag-reduce yung number, specifically in half. Dito pa lang pala, no, naging haploid na yung ating genetic content. From one cell, naging two daughter cells containing haploids. Ngayon, yung cells na nandito tsaka genetic material, that is what will continue here in your meiosis 2. So, starting meiosis 2, you already have two cells containing haploids. And this time, if yung meiosis 1 ang reductional, meiosis 2, we call this as equational. Equational. Equational, equate, equal, no? Meaning that the genetic content will be the same even until the end of telophase. But per cell, no? Since remember, dalawang cell yung pumasok. Dalawang cell na may haploid, Pareho yan, magkakaroon ng dalawang daughter cells sa dulo. Tig-dalawa sila. And the same equational, the same genetic content, same number of chromosome as with the parent cell that entered meiosis 2. So, from the start na meron kang 1 cell, 46 chromosomes, diploid pumasok, starting meiosis 1, you will end in the final phase of meiosis 2 having 4 daughter cells with haploids. So in which specific phase does each event happen? Let's move forward to discuss the rest. Now, this is just a bit of an overview pa din, no? But basically, ang dinedefine natin dito are the homologs. Again, yung homologs, these are the chromosomes that will be segregated to become paired with another chromosome. At yung kapartner niya, dapat yung opposite. So, if paternal chromosome, ang kapartner niyang paternal chromosome na yan, yung maternal, no? We term them as homologs. So again, importante yung pag-pair nila because once they are paired together, that is where recombination will happen. Kaya pala, yung ibang traits ni mother, humahalo dun sa ibang traits naman ni father, no? Kapag nagkaroon ng offspring. And in that way, we are also preserving the continuity of the traits passing down from one generation to another. So let's start, no? Let's just say tapos na yung DNA replication, tapos na po yung interphase. Papasok naman tayo ngayon sa meiosis 1. In meiosis 1, we have prophase 1. And prophase 1 is subdivided into the following phases. Leptotin, also known as leptonema. Zygotin, also known as zygonema. Pakaitin, other terms, pakainema. So if either of the two terms will be utilized in your quiz or exam, it's just the same, no? So diplotin tsaka diplonema. And we have diakinesis. Siya walang other term. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, no? 5 phases of prophase. Now, prophase, as in mitosis, no? Prophase pa din maraming nangyayari. In prophase, this is where the major recombination happens. So, ibig sabihin, dito nagpa-pair yung homologs, dito nagkakaroon ng parts kung saan nagpapalitan ng information. Iba yung events that happens per subphase, no, under prophase 1. So, initially, it will start to pair here in leptotin. You can also take a look at the pictures at the bottom, no, for you to also be in line or in sync with the discussion. So again, in prophase 1, ang major event dito, pagpa-pair ng homologs. So initially, they will start to condense and pair starting leptotin pa lang. So in leptotin, rough pairing will start. Ibig sabihin, they will start to look for their pairs but they are not yet close to each other, no? Rough pairing will be initiated, will start here in leptotin. Leptotin is also known as your thin-threaded stage, manipis. So thin-threaded stage. And then that rough pairing or initial pairing will continue up to zygotin. Zygotin now will be called as your yoked threaded stage. Yoked threaded stage. And dito na mag-e-end, this is where the rough pairing will cease. So again, initially, magsa-start no, yung rough pairing ng homologs by leptotin, matatapos by the end of zygote. Ibig sabihin, natapos na yung rough pairing, the homologs are now too close to each other. Kasi kanina kaya rough pairing, hindi pa siya sobrang dikit no? Ngayon, nung natapos na ng zygote, sobrang dikit na ng dalawang chromosomes, no? Yung homologs to each other. Kanina kita pa natin, 'di ba? Imagine no, dalawang pairs ito. So ilang chromatids ang meron yan? 4. So kita natin na tetrad siya. So tetrads kasi merong 4 na chromatids. We can also call them as a bivalent, no? Kasi dalawang chromosomes. Remember, pair to, si paternal tsaka maternal. So, dalawang chromosomes, 4 yung chromatids niyan. And we can also term them as tetrads or bivalent. But again, yung rough pairing na yan, yung kanina distinguishable pa sila, at the end of zygote, that rough pairing will end, meaning that the chromosomes are already too close to each other. Ang term na ginamit, juxtaposed, no? Intimate na, sobrang dikit nung dalawang magka-partner na chromosome pagdating ng pakaitin. So in pakaitin, this is where the intimate pairing will happen. Intimate pairing. And then this is also where the chromosomes are already condensed. Dito na sila pinaka-dense yung itsura nila. Ibig sabihin, dito pinaka-makapal. So pakaitin is also known as your thick threaded stage. So thick threaded stage. So initially, rough pairing, leptotin. Pagdating ng zygote, continuous lang ang rough pairing, but this is also where the rough pairing will end. If the rough pairing ends, it means that the chromosomes are already too close to each other, no? Come pakaitin, there is already an intimate pairing, meaning that the chromatids or the homologs are already close enough to each other to recombine. Now, starting pakaitin, there is already exchange, no? Dahil sobrang dikit nila, meron na palang nangyayaring genetic exchange dito. Meron ng start ng recombination. But it will only be visible when we reach diplotin. Now, diplotin, this is also known as your double-threaded stage. Double-threaded stage. Now, bakit kaya dito naging evident, dito naging visible na merong exchange na nangyari? Now, if you remember, pakaitin, juxtaposed, no? Intimate yung pairing. There is already exchange. Hindi lang natin kita na meron palang mga areas na nakakross sa isa't isa. The arms of the chromosomes here in pakaitin, there are areas wherein they are linked, magkapulupot, no? They are linked to each other. But since there is intimate pairing, dikit-dikit condensed, no? We do not see it yet. But again, there is already exchange. So why is it visible now when it entered diplotin? In diplotin, the homolog starts to separate and move away from each other. Nung naghihiwalay yung mga chromosomes dun sa homolog, hindi siya fully maghiwalay kasi may nakapulupot na arms, no? The arms are linked, showing chiasmata. Chiasmata or plural, kung plural, chiasma pag singular. Now, yung areas na merong magkapulupot, yung nagka-link to each other, those are the evidences that the exchange happened because in those points, in the chiasmata or the chiasma, the crossover events happened. So, dito na nagkaroon ng DNA recombination. So, just to emphasize, no? Crossing over, this is what we mean by the exchange of genetic material between two homologous chromosomes. Yung dalawang homologs natin, kay father tsaka kay mother. The maternal and paternal chromosomes. Now, the chiasma or chiasmata can be more than one. So, merong areas dito na magka-link to each other, no? So, those are sites ng genetic transfer or exchange. Now, that crossing over is mediated, no? By your recombinase. Crossover, sinabi ko na kanina, ang crossover, saan nagsa-start? Crossover, when does it start? It start or initiated saan pa lang? Anong phase? Anyone? Can anyone answer? Make sure that it is seen by everyone. The genetic exchange, the crossover, it starts as early as when? In which phase in prophase 1? Okay, good. So, okay, good. So, as early as PAC-18, it already started. But when will it become visible? Good. Bakit? Kasi sa diplotin natin nakita na merong chiasma. But again, if the question is when did it start as early as PAC-18, visible diplotin. Kasi dun sila naghiwalay, dun lang natin nakita na as they move away from each other, may nakapulupot na. Okay? So I hope it is clearer now. So going back. So this process is mediated by recombinase, then recombination between your homologs is completed by the end of PAC-18. But remember, in PAC-18, nakapulupot pa din, no? They are still linked at the sites of crossing over. But they will not be like that forever. Kailangan maghiwalay yung chromosomes na yon. Otherwise, they will not be segregated and passed onwards to the daughter cells kasi dapat exact yung number natin, di ba? So, those sites na merong crossing over, nakapulupos sa isa't isa, mataterminalize yon. It will be finalized here in diakinesis, which is the final stage of meiotic prophase 1. Pag na-finalize yung na-finalize yung chiasmata, ang mangyayari, di ba ito kanina may chiasma, there are sites of crossing over. Hindi na babalik yung nag-cross over. Ang mangyayari, yung part nung isa, mapupunta sa kabila. So example, this is the chromosome of the father, chromosome of the mother. So paternal and maternal chromosome. Whatever transferred here, kaya nag-iba yung kulay, no? Yung nakalink sa kanya, magiging permanently part of the father chromosome and vice versa. So, that is why, no, as the sperm and egg combine to form a zygote, we are already a product of the mixture of genetic content of our parents because of this process. So, ito hindi siya specific, random, no, yung mix and match ng mga traits ng character. Kaya later on sa Mendelian genetics, no, makikita natin yung different laws and postulates. But for now, we know that in meiosis 1 pala, specifically sa prophase 1, dun pala nangyari yung exchange ng genetic information because of what happened here. No? Ito nag-move sa father and yung isa nag-move naman dun sa mother. Now, similarly, as in mitosis, meron ding spindle fiber na mag-a-assemble so that later on, no, mailagay sa gitna, mapunta sa metaphase plane or equatorial plate yung mga chromosomes, and then the nucleolus will still disappear, nuclear envelope will break down, ending now the prophase 1 and will transition to metaphase. After nun, similar na, no, mag-a-align at the center yung chromosome. So, nasa gitna na, but there will be a part that will not be dissolved. There will be a part that will not be degraded. Yung equatorial plane or the centromeric region, the centromeric region of your chromosome, they will still be intact. Kaya ang difference, pagdating ng anaphase 1, remember sa mitosis, pinaghiwalay natin chromatids, no? If you can still remember. Kaya, kung pinaghiwalay yung chromatids, ang ending natin, still the same number ng daughter chromosomes. But this time around, what will separate will be the homologous chromosomes. So, kung dalawa yung example natin dito, ibig sabihin, there are two chromosomes in a cell that entered meiosis. As it entered meiosis, it underwent prophase 1. Pagdating ng metaphase 1, nag-align sa center. But come anaphase 1, chromosomes, the whole chromosome will be pulled towards the opposite pole. O ngayon question, maglagay ulit ako ng A tsaka B. If the parent cell started with 2 chromosomes, pumasok ng meiosis, how many chromosomes will now be in area B pagdating ng anaphase 1? Ang question ko, the parent cell, we started with 2 chromosomes. Meiosis yung pinasok natin na cell division. Pagdating ng anaphase 1, how many chromosomes will be located here in area B? Make sure everyone ha, para kita natin kung sino yung nauna for your plus points. O dalawa na lang yan ha. Hindi ko na 46. Para mas madaling intindihin, we'll start at a lower number kasi kahit damihan naman natin, that will remain the same. So for now, I'll honor the answer of Sarasha ha. But next time, dun tayo sa main para kita natin. So dalawahin natin yung nasa personal and dito sa everyone. Good. Kitang-kita no, if full yung chromosome na magta-transport papuntang opposite pole, edi magiging isa na lang yan, no? Isa, yung kabila, isa lang din. Reduction. So in anaphase 1, from 2 genetic content, naging isa na lang siya. So dito pa lang pala, no, nagkaroon na ng reduction. That is why meiosis 1 is known to be a reductional kind of division. So since they are still inside one cell, nandito pa rin naman yan, no? Nag-migrate lang po sa opposite poles, yung whole na chromosome. Pagdating ng telophase 1, magkakaroon ng cleavage furrow and then ultimately giving us 2 different daughter cells. Now, if we're going to utilize the normal number of chromosomes, let's just say 46 yung chromosomes, pumasok sa meiosis 1. Pagdating ng anaphase 1, ilan po ang chromosomes sa area A? You want to answer, utilize the chat box. So kung 46, di ba, no? The same. So if we will increase the number, ganun din. So now, evident na bakit naging reductional na yung division. So kung 23 po yan, pagdating dito may cleavage furrow, 23 haploid na, 23 din dito. Itong dalawang cells na to ang papasok sa meiosis 2. But then again, telophase 1, similar lang din, no? Merong reappearance of the nuclear membrane, nucleolus, and then cytokinesis so that there will be equal allotment of cytoplasm and organelles per daughter cell. Now, since we're going to enter another type of meiosis, hindi siya interphase, mas maiksi sa interphase, no? Interkinesis. After interkinesis, a short period of rest, it will now enter meiosis 2. Ngayon, mas madali. If alam natin by heart ang mitosis, meiosis 2 is similar. It will just resemble your normal mitosis. So, kung ano yung mga naging process doon, cohesin, Shogoshin, yun din yung mangyayari dito sa meiosis 2. Ang pinagkaiba lang, ilan ulit yung cells na pumasok dito? 2. Ang chromosomes nila, 23, no? Haploid. So, if we're going to enumerate what will happen, we will still have PMAT. Similar lang with mitosis. So, prophase, magkakaroon ng migration of the centrioles towards opposite poles, spindle fiber, condensation of the chromosomes, no? Pareho lang din po yung lahat hanggang dumating tayong telophase. But this time around, since you entered with 2 cells, ang ating daughter chromosomes at daughter cells, per cell din. So, yung isang cell ay 2 daughter cell. Similar daw sa mitosis. So, same yung number as with the parent cell. Ganito din siya. So, by the end of meiosis 2, so tama, no? 4 yung ating daughter cells with the same genetic material as with the parent cells na pumasok ng meiosis 2. So why is it important? What's the significance of meiosis? Through the genetic exchange and DNA recombination, we will now see how the different traits, character, or even specific illnesses or disease are being passed down from one generation to another, no? Yun pala yung nag-mix and match at nagko-combine ng mga traits natin. Dito pala yun sa meiosis. Because remember, meiosis is responsible and associated with the sex cells or the germ cells. So ito yung kung paano nabubuo yung mga sperm cell, egg cell, kaya yung mga sex cells na yun, haploid sila. And genetically, they have genetic variations na, no? Because of what happened during prophase 1. But there are also times, hindi naman din perfect, no? I think nabanggit ko na last time that when disjunction will not happen properly, specifically pag sa meiosis yun nangyari, it will lead to chromosomal disorders that will affect the individual, no? Pwedeng ma-abort, some might cause spontaneous abortion because the combination of the chromosomes will not be capable for them to live, no? Yung iba days, hours, yung iba nabubuhay naman sila pero merong mga mental challenges, no? Yung before tawag natin mental retardation, but now they are appropriately termed as mental challenges, no? They are mentally challenged. And to summarize the differences of the two, we have the following illustration. So mitosis natin, very straightforward. Kung magbe-base tayo sa picture, if pumasok po yan na 2 yung chromosome, so single structure, more likely, no, hindi pa nag-undergo ng synthesis. So after interphase, double structure na siyang papasok. So 2 chromosomes and natin 2 daughter cells with the same genetic content, tigalawa din as with the parent cell. As compared to meiosis, kung pumasok ng 2, meiotic division 1 or meiosis 1, merong reduction. So yung 2, magiging isa na lang na papasok sa meiosis 2. 2 cells, haploid. In meiosis 2, pareho lang siya ng mitosis. This is equational. So if pumasok ng isa na lang yung chromosome, mag-e-end ng isa lang din yung genetic material. Eh ma'am, bakit 4? Remember, 2 po yung cells na pumasok and then each will have daughter cells of their own. Other comparison for mitosis 1 lang, meiosis may 1 and 2. For mitosis, merong 2 daughter cells per cycle. Now, don't get confused. Pagka sa meiosis or sa quiz nyo, sa exam, no, nagtanong ako, how many daughter cells will be produced per cycle of meiosis? Pag hindi ko binanggit na meiosis 1 or meiosis 2, kasi tayo alam natin, no, na meiosis 1, may product din yan. Yung product ng meiosis 1, papasok din sa meiosis 2. Pero kung wala po akong binanggit, meiosis lang, no, ang sinabi dun sa question, it means that it is for the whole. Kasama na yung 1 and 2. So, ang sagot doon, 4 daughter cells per cycle. Next, daughter cells ng mitosis, they are genetically identical. Sa meiosis, different. Bakit nga ulit genetically different ang mga daughter cells or yung chromosome inside the daughter cells in meiosis? Because of what that happened during prophase 1? So again, ang question ko, why are the daughter cells genetically different? Meaning, yung chromosomes nila, may variation daw. Bakit kaya? Because of what happened in prophase 1? Okay, warmer tayo. Good. Related dyan, no? Sa chiasmata, crossing over. O what happened with crossing over? Recombination. Good, no? Recombination or merong genetic exchange. Good. Now, for the chromosome number for mitosis pareho, no? Dito, naging haploid sa meiosis. Somatic cells lang tayo sa mitosis, any body cells, no? Mitosis, especially for eukaryotes. Meiosis naman, germline cells. In humans, meiosis completes after sexual maturity. For mitosis, tuloy-tuloy lang kasi tuloy-tuloy lang din naman ang growth, repair, and itong asexual reproduction for prokaryotes lang, no? Prokaryotes. Then for sexual reproduction, producing ng new gene combinations, we have meiosis. So, is the topic clear so far before I proceed with a new one? Can you give me a heart or a thumbs up reaction? I'll still honor questions later on, no, if you want to clarify something. Tapusin lang po muna natin yung discussion. So, moving forward to chromosome morphology, pakita lang muna natin kung ano ba yung mga fibers na binabanggit natin nagko-coil, nagko-condense, no? Ito po siya. Initially, isang nucleosome lang muna siya. Nucleosome, meron siyang DNA na nakarap around sa histone core. Itong histone, protein din yan. That protein provides the structural support for a chromosome. So, starting with 1, then dire-diretso lang, kung chromatin pa lang siya, no? Pag nag-coil up, yan na yung dinodrawing ko na umiikot siya, no? Coiling up leads to the visibility of the structure of the chromosome, kaya later on, ganyan yung nagiging itsura. Pero pag tinignan mo siya individually, mahabang-mahaba lang siya na dugtong-dugtong na nucleosome. So that is the main structure of a chromosome. Also, if you will notice, if you apply fluorescence also, there will be fluorescent structures present at the ends of the chromosome. Tawag natin dyan yung telomeres. Important yan for protection, no? They often provide protection from degradation, or kung hindi pa kailangan ng recombination, no? It also serves as a protection for the start of a necessary recombination, pwede rin po yan. So that is the telomeres. Recap lang ulit. Again, we have 46 chromosomes in every somatic cell of a human being. Yung 22 pairs doon are what we call autosomes. And then yung 23rd pair, yung para sa gender. It's either homozygous X or heterozygous. Pag homozygous, ito yung female, no? Female. Then heterozygous naman for the male. Prokaryotic tsaka eukaryotic, familiar na tayo, no? Kung alin yung may true nuclei and yung walang nuclei. And they are often given nomenclature, yung pag-name ng mga chromosomes ang central reference for the description of karyotyping. We have ISCN. Then later, we have examples also of karyotyping. Pag sinabing karyotyping, nakalatag po yung mga chromosomes. So, the chromosomes will be arranged in descending order of their length from the longest to the shortest. So, they will be numbered from 1 to 22. Yun na po yung autosomes natin, no? 1 to 22. Then yung remaining na may letters for the gender. There are times na yung chromosome hindi of equal length. May times, no, hindi lagi. Pagka lang mas mahaba yung isa, we can name that shorter and longer arm. Pagka shorter arm, P arm, longer arm naman pag Q arm. So, in which cases do we see unequal lengths of arms depending on the location of their centromere? So, if the location of the centromere, yung constriction at the center, is directly at the middle, metacentric. Pagka ganito, walang shorter and longer. Equal lang po yung lengths ng lahat ng chromatids. But if that is submetacentric, ibig sabihin, yung centromere nasa gitna ng middle and end, no? Medyo tumaas ng konti or bumaba ng konti. So again, the location of the centromere is already between the middle and the end. That's why one will appear shorter, yung P arm, and then one will appear longer, yung Q arm. Meron din ganito, halos nandun na siya sa pinakataas ng chromosome, pero may natitira pa ring maliit, which we call a satellite. So this one, the location of the centromere is already close to the end. Close pa lang, no? Hindi pa nasa end. Iba pa yon. Pag close to the end, maliit yung maiiwan, that is your satellite, but it's still connected to the main body of the chromatid. It's connected by this thin structure here, which we call a stalk. Okay? So, satellite, stalk, alam nyo ng acrocentric yan. Now, for that type of classification wherein the centromere is already at the end, that is what we call a stelocentric. Pero ito hindi ganong nakikita, no? Not seen in humans anymore. So, if you want to see the differences of the appearance in different phases, pag metaphase, yun yung kita natin yung pinakamagandang structure nila. Kasi remember, pag metaphase, no, nasa gitna, aligned po at the center yung mga chromosome. That is why pag kinuha natin yung sample from there, you will get good characteristics of the morphology of your chromosome. Yung anaphase naman,